movie in my head.
That I want to like what advise people is if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Joining us today is no other than Spider-Man himself. It's an unbelievable pleasure for me to introduce. So tell us what it was really like to get the call letting you know you're the new Superman. Coming to us live from the multiverse is Scarlet Witch herself. Watch out, here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning actor, director, and writer.
This is Grand Admiral Mithron Neurodo. May warrior's fortune smile on your favors.
I have notebooks that I do all my work in, and I just was like, okay, and I just sort of started running it through quickly in my head, like a movie. And you can sort of, you fast forward the action at this point, okay, that's not gonna work, rewind it, okay, I could start from the start, maybe go this way instead, like just zigging and zagging, and I jot down notes to myself so I remember that mental movie in my head.
That I want to like what advise people is if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Joining us today is no other than Spider-Man himself. It's an unbelievable pleasure for me to introduce. So tell us what it was really like to get the call letting you know you're the new Superman. Coming to us live from the multiverse is Scarlet Witch herself. Watch out, here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning actor, director, and writer.
This is Grand Admiral Mithron Neurodo. May warrior's fortune smile on your favors.
I have notebooks that I do all my work in, and I just was like, okay, and I just sort of started running it through quickly in my head, like a movie. And you can sort of, you fast forward the action at this point, okay, that's not gonna work, rewind it, okay, I could start from the start, maybe go this way instead, like just zigging and zagging, and I jot down notes to myself so I remember that mental movie in my head.
That I want to like what advise people is if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Joining us today is no other than Spider-Man himself. It's an unbelievable pleasure for me to introduce. So tell us what it was really like to get the call letting you know you're the new Superman. Coming to us live from the multiverse is Scarlet Witch herself. Watch out, here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning actor, director, and writer.
This is Grand Admiral Mithron Eurodo. May warrior's fortune smile on your favors.
I have notebooks that I do all my work in, and I just was like, okay, and I just sort of started running it through quickly in my head, like a movie. And you can sort of, you fast forward the action at this point, okay, that's not going to work. Rewind it, okay, I could start from the start, maybe go this way instead, like just zigging and zagging. And I jot down notes to myself so I remember that mental movie in my head.
That I want to, like, what advise people is, if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Joining us today is no other than Spider-Man himself. It's an unbelievable pleasure for me to introduce. So tell us what it was really like to get the call letting you know you're the new Superman. Coming to us live from the multiverse is Scarlet Witch herself. Watch out, here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning actor, director, and writer.
This is Grand Admiral Mithron Eurodo. May warrior's fortune smile on your favors.
I have notebooks that I do all my work in, and I just was like, okay, and I just sort of started running it through quickly in my head, like a movie. And you can sort of, you fast forward the action at this point, okay, that's not going to work. Rewind it, okay, I could start from the start, maybe go this way instead, like just zigging and zagging. And I jot down notes to myself so I remember that mental movie in my head.
That I want to, like, what advise people is, if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Joining us today is no other than Spider-Man himself. It's an unbelievable pleasure for me to introduce. So tell us what it was really like to get the call letting you know you're the new Superman. Coming to us live from the multiverse is Scarlet Witch herself. Watch out, here she comes. Ladies and gentlemen, the award-winning actor, director, and writer.
This is Grand Admiral Mithron Eurodo. May warrior's fortune smile on your favors.
I have notebooks that I do all my work in, and I just was like, okay, and I just sort of started running it through quickly in my head, like a movie. And you can sort of, you fast forward the action at this point, okay, that's not going to work. Rewind it, okay, I could start from the start, maybe go this way instead, like just zigging and zagging. And I jot down notes to myself so I remember that mental movie in my head.
That I want to, like, what advise people is, if you get the chance to meet somebody who means something to you, tell them that. You know, it will make their day, it will make your day, and we don't get opportunities like that very often.
Because the story in your mind will always come out faster than what actually gets down onto that page in front of you. And like, and that's what happens when I'm not drawing. When you're drawing, then like you live within the page, and that's it. Like I have this process that I've developed that is definitely quite fast, and then like I'll get everything that I need, and then I'll sit down and I'll be working on the page, and I don't think of anything else. And the second I stop, it's something I actually need to dial back on. Like I can't stop my mind kind of going forward in that.
If you have a story that you love, that would be the story that you would walk into a shop and find and be happiest to have discovered that day, other people will love it. Like go out and make that story. There's never been a better time to make your comic.
And that's just the beginning of what's coming next.
In the Comic Show Phase 2.
Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, whoever you are. We're here today with Comics episode number 50, the big 50 already. What in the world? I'm your host, Techniq, and I'm sitting here with my co-host, Matt, aka NighthawkPlayz. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Frank? Happy afternoon. Happy new time slot. Hope your stream went well this morning, man. What were you up to?
Just playing random stuff. It's just a rough period of time for streaming in general for me. It just feels like I don't have energy to play anything. That is nothing really out there that excites me. So we played like I don't know if you ever played Vampire Survivors, but there's a new game out called what is it called? Soul Stone. There it is. Soul Stone Survivors. And it's just like Vampire Survivors, except it's 3D, and it's got better graphics. It's got a little bit more depth to it. You have like skills, and you have crafting. You have all this stuff. It's really, really cool.
Interesting.
We played that for like, I don't know, 3.5 hours. Then I was like, since I'm on this kick of just playing random games, I picked up the game called Dungeons of Cylindra or something like that. And it's literally the successor for Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Oh wow, okay.
Even though there was a Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance that just came out like a few years ago, it didn't really hit home because it just didn't feel right. This game feels like more of a successor. It's like $20 on Steam. The other game was free to play, but because it's just a demo. But the Dungeons one is early access. Is about $20, and there's a lot of like, man, I have to keep going in this dungeon, keep going in this dungeon, keep going in this dungeon, keep going in dungeon. And it was just like nonstop. Yeah, I don't know what that was. Anyway, it was like nonstop boss. I was like, Jesus, it's like a Dark Souls meets like Flash. It's made for 4 people. They have different classes and stuff. So it's pretty cool. What about you, man? What you up to?
I've been playing Rumbleverse when it's been online. I've been enjoying that. It's a silly game, but it's a lot of fun. Obviously, it's definitely got its growth and dealing with its own issues right now, but it's been a lot of fun. I've actually been playing a lot of Fortnite, because Dragon Ball Z's in it. There's something about, is it Kamehameha or Kamehameha?
I mean, depends on who's saying it. It's supposed to be Kamehameha.
Kamehameha. Okay, because that's what I hear, but I don't know where Kamehameha comes from sometimes. But yeah,
English translation, they say instead of Ka, they say K for some reason. I don't know.
It's regardless, just something about getting on the Nimbus and then just dropping just doing that. It's absolutely wild and beautiful at the same time. So I've actually been having a lot of fun playing Fortnite. But to your point, it's kind of, we're getting into the heat right now of that rolling cycle, right? Of Disney Plus, and now movies are starting to come out now. We got She-Hulk just came out 2 weeks ago. We got Andor coming out in a few weeks. But we're still in that, we're in that last stretch as streamers and as fans of video games and as gamers ourselves of that dead time in the summer, right? We're right on the cusp of getting some titles out there like God of War, like Gotham Knights, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. It's just it's like looking at the clock for school to end. It just goes even slower right now. We need something, man. We need something.
I fell into this whole thing of Gamescom just happened.
Yep.
And I co-streaming and everything. And I was just sitting there like, man, I'm just really not excited about anything. And but Lies of P, I was just like, that
was cool.
And then there were some out there that I was just like, yeah. But when I watched, to keep it comic related, and I saw Gotham, I was just kind of like, okay, I'll play it. Well, I just there's something irking me, and I can't really like put my finger on it, but I'm just like, man, why do we not still have action gameplay? Like, I'm still asking myself.
Dude.
Literally said gameplay, and I was like, okay, all right, let's see. Oh, okay, no,
You're also referencing the Harley Quinn fight, right? Did you
I
see
remember
the
seeing
Harley
everything.
Quinn boss?
It looked like it looked like an
Man.
action sequence to me. It didn't look like it was like smooth fighting. It's just how when you click a button, your character just kind of goes like this and just goes snaps right
It,
to the other person. That's what it felt like.
skates. It slides and
Yeah.
skates. Like that's not how. No.
Kicking, and I'm just like, please let this be old footage, and they're just gonna blow our minds when they come out.
I hope so. I mean, it hurts because obviously this is art. These are everyone deserves their due, and they put a lot of sweat into these games, right? Like the last game to come out from Montreal, WB Montreal, was Batman Arkham Origins, which was 15, I think it was. So they've been working on things for the past 7 years, and it's finally going to come to fruition. And seeing this and talking about it, like, it hurts. Like, I'm still going to play the game, and I know there's going to be things that are going to make me fun, but looking at recently what they just put out, the gameplay, and specifically the Harley Quinn boss fight, and for those of you in chat, either live or afterwards on VOD and podcast, please let us know either on Twitter or in our streams, wherever it is, or live every other week here, at the Comic Show. It reminds me of games even predating the Arkham franchise, like seeing Nightwing versus Harley Quinn, and how easily it seemed it could have been on really, really, really easy, super like 5-year-old novice gameplay settings. But it reminded me of a really bad like MMO boss battle, if that makes sense. It's the same moves, you time it, and that's it. Where the Arkham franchise was known for some of the best boss battles. I still remember going against Mr. Freeze in Arkham City, and that was like the greatest boss battle I think I've ever played. He changed up mechanics on you, the sneaking, like, it was so good. And then I watched that, I'm like, this is painful. Like, what is this right now?
I don't even know how I feel about the overall game look. It feels kind of dry, grayscaled out. It's like a lot of covering up flaws, I feel, and Harley, I'm not a fan of the way she looks.
Oh, that's what it is. Like you're big into MMOs. Does that remind you? And then this may be bad. Maybe it's RPG, but the way the characters look, they're all kind of like the same.
The model.
Kind of like model. I mean, Clayface looked really different. I'll give you that. He actually looked pretty cool, but like there's like all the same model. Is that MMO? I don't really play a lot of those. Like,
every game. MMOs where every there's enemies. They have like, I don't know, maybe they have 20 different enemies, and each like progression you make, that enemy may just change color and it'd be the same model. It looks like they had a base model for both male and female, and they just kind of character created each character. And the outfits are Play-Doh on, just kind of like painted on the character. There's no layers. It feels, it doesn't feel like it feels like a rush job. And it's like, hey guys, we got to release this. We can't pulling it off. We can't just hold on anymore. That's what it feels like. And I have a contact there, and she hits me up every time, and she's like, did you see it? And I'm like, yeah, I saw it. What do you plan on doing with creators? Because this is gonna need to do something. I'm telling them, you need to get with creators now. You need to like have drops. You got to have something to get this. Otherwise, people are just going to eat this alive. It's going to feel like, again, like I was saying earlier, Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance, where the fans were there. Like, I was a true fan, but it got to a point where it was so buggy that I was just like, I can't defend this anymore. So hopefully it goes well. Now I'm like afraid to say anything about voiceover, but as soon as I heard the commissioner, I knew who it was. That's all I say. The moment I heard the commissioner, I was like, that's gotta be Krizia. That's gotta be my coach, my coach. And I'm not gonna confirm yes or no that's her or not, because people are dumb. So let's just say that I knew that voice from the start. Like, as soon as I heard it, I was like, I know who that is. So but anyway, it's that's probably the only thing I'm excited about the game for, because I know the voice. Other than that, I don't know. I don't know what to say. The world looks tiny. No, it doesn't look tiny. The world looks scaled, but it looks like there's a lot of invisible walls and a lot of instants. Start mission. invite your team, go in type thing instead of like an open city experience where you guys can go off and do your own things and come back, to do the main objective type thing. So I hope I'm wrong, but something telling me I'm right. Anyway,
yeah, there is no true like open world game. You're gonna have loadings, you're gonna have instances. That's why they have Belfry Tower. Like it's gonna be hard for me to believe like you can go from, let's say, Belfry Tower all the way to one end of the Gotham City all the way to the other.
Should be able to, but hopefully we don't have, I don't know.
Even Gotham Knights. Am I wrong? It's been such a long time since I played Gotham Knights. It isn't Gotham Knights was a massive. It was an open world, but it was massive, and they still had loading in instances, I think. So I don't know. It's going to be interesting.
Loading in certain places is fine. I'm not looking for a GTA experience, but it's just like I don't want a hub where you're just standing in a Batcave hub and you invite people and they put in, and then you see a map and you click on the map and they automatically teleport you there, and you have this little tiny instance to run around and do stuff and complete that task and move on. That I could just feel that's where it's going.
Yeah, that's what I'm feeling too, man.
But anyway, whatever. If they did it like Marvel Avengers, I'd be fine with that, because that's like a huge map for that mission, and you're going from one corner to the other corner, and there's a lot of guys to beat up. And like when you come to a vigilante game, you want to beat a lot of people up, and
oh yeah,
Warriors it. I don't care. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how that is. Anyway, moving on. So a lot of games coming out. Not much to really look forward to, except like the big AAAs. I mean, but I think indie games, this is where indie games are going to come and rule. She-Hulk, I haven't seen the show yet, just because kind of letting it marinate. I've seen a lot of reviews on it from people saying, and it's a love-hate relationship. Some people love it and some people hate it. There's no in between. People are just like, I love it. And people are like, I absolutely hate it. I gave it 90 minutes. I'm not doing it anymore. And I'm just like, huh? I think people are skeptical of the fact that they just don't like good Hulks. They don't like the goody two-shoe Hulk version of anything. They want a massive angry green thing going around smashing stuff. I mean, I get it. And apparently later on we might be seeing Hulk kind of reemerge at some point. Like not her Hulk, not She-Hulk, but the Hulk, the Bruce Banner Hulk, is supposedly going to be going through something. And I think he even commented, I forgot the actor's name. But anyway, he commented on what people are saying about the Hulk, and he's just like, look, I had my vision, but I sign a contract and I do what they tell me to do type thing. So I'm there with him. You don't piss off Daddy Mouse, man. You just make your money and do what you got to do. But she's an attorney, and then with an attorney comes another attorney. Murdoch or Daredevil, or Charlie Cox is popping up, and we're happy. Everyone loves Charlie. Everyone loves Daredevil. He does a fantastic job. I think he's like one of the first original Marvel casted characters that everybody's just like, oh, give me more, baby, type thing. It's been great seeing him develop as Daredevil. The show was amazing in my eyes. I thought it was really, really good, especially being a Netflix original. And then if you put it up against Luke Cage, which I do like, but not as much as Daredevil, and definitely put it up against Iron Fist. Or in Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones is actually pretty good. So you put it up against those shows, and you're just like, wow, we have an ace. So Marvel lucked out on that, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first 2 seasons, I think it was, of Daredevil. The other ones were okay. That really set him apart. Charlie Cox is absolutely incredible as Matt Murdock and as Daredevil, and they did him right with the black suit, the hand, and where he came from, who taught him. That was really fun. Jessica Jones is just a fun series because she is so not like any other superhero. She's drunk. She just goes off. She's what do you call it? She has a very interesting mind as far as the way how she gets things done. Yeah. And where she lives in a friendship, like a crack house, essentially, like with or crack building. Like it's wild. It's not something you would think of as a Marvel character. And what set that series apart from Daredevil, in my opinion, was the bad guy. That what I think set it over was David Tennant as I love David Tennant. I think he's an amazing actor. He's so good. Which then made reason why I liked Luke Cage so much wasn't Mike Coulter. You're an amazing actor. I love you. You did great with Locke in Halo, amongst every other thing you're doing. But what made me love that show was the next Blade. You know, was Cottonmouth, was Mashallah Ali. Like he's that first season was, I may even like it better than Daredevil just because of him. Like I dude.
That hallway scene in Daredevil, old boy.
Yes, amazing. But like his presence behind that chair with that Biggie
painting, like play a villain any day of the week.
It was just so good. There's just something about, I guess maybe I just really like him as an actor, and
I love him. He's godlike. Yeah. He's a godlike actor. I mean, he was great.
He was great in what's that movie with him and Legolas?
The Pianist or whatever.
Yeah, like that was not Legolas. Anyway, yeah. It was like that. He's such a great actor, but there was just something about him and that character in that series that, to me, overshadows a lot of the rest of the Netflix MCU. But yeah, Daredevil by itself, I think that first or second season was incredible. And I'm happy that he's playing that character here in the MCU. He needs it. He needs it. Aragon, thank you. Sorry, not Legolas. Sorry.
Yeah, there's no way that nobody can. He's on that nobody can replace you type thing. It's like kind of Robert Downey Jr. type energy going on. Yeah, I'm excited. I'm liking the ground level vigilante hero setup that they're doing more than the Avenger setup because it's different. You know, we've had our Avenger run. We had fun with it. It was nice seeing all the characters being portrayed as like holier than thou. But now we get to the dirt. We're in the hood. You know, and like we got all the people that are just doing ground level things and fighting for the middleman and the little people. You know, it's not all about those big politics and trying to impress government and stuff. People are just like, yo, I'll take this in my own hands. I'll whoop your ass. You might die. It's okay. You know, like that. Those are the things I really like. And I think She-Hulk is kind of like, you know, the first opener to that. It's just like this ground level person working with the little people. You know, and granted, she's doing a little bit different as a lawyer or attorney. I wish it. And you know, and she's, you know, good looking. You know, a good-looking green person, you know. And the actress is, keep forgetting her name, my lord.
Orphan Black. What is her name?
Yeah, I know. Orphan Black.
It's like a unique name. It starts with it's like it starts with a T.
Right? Tatiana.
She-Hulk. Yeah, not. Yeah, Tatiana. It's the last name, Maslany. That's what always got to Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah. Tatiana. Yeah, Tatiana is. She's everything. She's gorgeous. She's funny. She's talented. She's loved. People just love her. Like even if that show tanks, they're still gonna love her. It doesn't matter. She's in good hands. Like people just love her. She's an incredible actress with a lot of range. And the question I really wish we can get her on the show or just talk to her and send her questions she can answer. I just want to know if she's having fun. You know, a lot of people talk a lot of crap about like Disney and Marvel and being brought in. I just read today that they might bring in J-Lo, anyway, you know, they're bringing in people left and right. Everyone wants to be in a Marvel film because that's where the money is. Like literally everybody wants to be in, and then they try to put their feet in there, you know? So really interested in seeing where that goes. A lot of people comparing this show to Miss Marvel, which I don't think is fair. And the review bombs are coming in. But again, once again, we're gonna say this. It's because it's a female protagonist. It's not an overly sexualized freaking Hulk, and she's not what people want. It doesn't matter if she's muscular, like overly muscular. It doesn't matter if she looks the way she looks now. People are always going to find something and degrade it because it's a female protagonist. That's how I feel. You know, come at me how you will. People are a little out of control with it. Yeah, exactly.
I'm on Rotten Tomatoes right now and just looking at all these 1 stars, and it's just people just hate seeing females or people of color or like anything like that. Oh God, in lead roles. I've watched the first 2 episodes, and I won't spoil anything for the audience or for you, but it's a fun series, and I don't even fun maybe doing it justice. It's well written. It answers a lot of questions. It leaves questions out there for you, and it is a MCU. It's a MCU series. I think these first 2 episodes, as far as like a actual series goes, and if it is going to be a series like after this or just in general, like it feels. I don't know if, and maybe you understand. Like it feels like a series. It doesn't feel like a one-off like WandaVision.
Yeah.
Like it actually feels like it's going to tell a real story, and you're going to get into the lives of these characters. And I really enjoy it. Same thing like Miss Marvel did actually.
100%.
I think it could be going down as one of the, in my opinion, whether it ends, the best series, or if not one of the best series out there, because it's going to keep going. And she kicks she kicks butt as Jennifer Walters and as She-Hulk. She's we've seen it in the trailer. The fourth wall breaks are awesome. So if they're doing it in here, I can't wait to see what they do with their with Deadpool, man. Oh man.
Yeah, if anybody can do it, like I said, these are connector shows. Like Miss Marvel was a connector show. She-Hulk's even more of a connector show. It's there to connect the dots, and then establish. And this is why Marvel is so successful. I don't care what people say. You can bitch, moan, complain about these things. You're going to end up going to go see more Marvel films. Marvel can literally just laugh at you for all these people that review bombing, because you will be at the next movie. Stop trying to fool anyone. It's just how it is. So they're what they do well is they establish characters that you learn about, and then they move on to the big stuff. So what people want is the big shebang immediately. You can't do that. You can't just introduce a character and be like, just going around smashing. Like, why? Like that there's no grounds for her to be doing that. So for her to be different than the Hulk, we don't just want to, what's really funny to me? People that play these video games, right? Like, let's say Marvel Avengers. When you have a character, Hulk, and then let's just say if they bring She-Hulk, not confirmed, just saying, if they bring She-Hulk and she's just a replica of the Hulk, they'll be like, oh, you just copied the model and made a female She-Hulk, woke ass people. That's what they're going to say, 100%. So now that they're introducing a character that's completely different, as she is, and it's very true to the comic, by the way, you idiots.
She broke the fourth wall before anybody.
Yeah, they just complain about it. She's comment. They're following it pretty closely. And then also the beautiful thing is, one thing that Marvel does that I really like, if you're a really good actress or actor, Marvel lets you take the helm. Tatiana has taken the helm. Robert Downey Jr., half the scenes he's done was ad-libbed and put into the film at the last minute. Like, I just want, if you're not a fan of comic book movies, why watch them? Like, it's to the point of review bombing is for attention. People are trying to hurt others, but they're going to make their money. Marvel's going to make their money regardless. That show's going to come out with, Miss Marvel may have been one of the less watched shows, but that doesn't mean that people are not going to go back and watch it. That's just season premiere. People will go back and watch it.
They know. Marvel knows. Kevin Feige knows what they have. They're not going to allow jackasses to take them out, because they're obviously smarter than that.
They're set for
they're set. They're set. Yeah. 10 years that we know of.
Yeah. We know. And there's hints of mutants starting to come up, and people are getting really excited about it. Wolverine is a big thing that people are talking about, to be excited about, especially with the She-Hulk stuff. Like I said, she's a connector show. You're going to have these Easter eggs coming in left and right. And if you miss them, you miss them, and it's okay, because it'll be even a bigger surprise for you later on. Speaking of which, while we're on the subject, interesting enough, so WandaVision was huge, right? It was big.
Yep.
A lot of people review bombed Wonder Woman. I'm not Wonder Woman, excuse me. WandaVision. But WandaVision did wonderfully. And guess who's directing the Fantastic Four movie? Yeah, same person that did WandaVision.
Yes.
That's going to be great. And you know what they said? We're listening to the fans, and we're going to collab on this. Like, that's huge, man. For them to come out the gate and literally say we're going to collab on this. Oh, big news. Chris Evans is definitely coming back to the MCU. It is official. I don't know how he's doing it, but he's definitely coming back. And I really hope it's not Johnny. But yeah, he's coming back.
Wait, where did that come from?
That was on the news 2 or 3 days ago. He officially signed. Yep. It's not reprising a role or anything. There wasn't no details on it, but he is definitely coming back. Yeah. So I'm
exclusive. Chris Evans returning to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is an exclusive giant freak robot. According to our trusted and proven sources, Chris Evans signed a deal to return to the MCU, and we have a good idea of what projects he's coming back to. But I mean, I'm not even going to go into that. But yeah, I mean, that's makes sense, especially with what they're planning on doing. This being the multiverse saga, and we're leading into Kang Wars and then Secret Wars. I mean, having him come back and reprise a role, we already saw our Mr. Fantastic as a multiversal
Yeah.
doppelganger or whatever it's going to be, maybe in Mr. Fantastic, Mr. Reed. Him coming back as either Cap, Hydra Cap, or just someone else in general would be very interesting and cool. Even if it's for what if like that. I mean, it would kind of suck, but it'd also be cool to see him voice Cap in a what if series.
I mean, there's rumors that Robert Downey Jr. is coming back too. So it's like,
yeah, if that happens, man.
You said, no, I'm done. No, I'm done. Now it's like, you never know what might happen. I'm like, all right, we know that's his yes. You know, like, as much as
3
he's
years
like,
later.
No. Yeah. I mean, when you miss that Marvel money, you miss that Marvel money, right? Like, come on. He took some time off. He got to spend time with his wife, his kids. It's good. It's time to come back and make that money. It is.
That's actually great. What has he done since leaving the
he's
MCU?
Been doing some charity stuff. And I think he did another show or movie. I think it's a TV series that he's been on, or a movie or something that's not catching a lot of hype. It's like on like not Hulu.
Oh yeah. So yeah. This is interesting. He's all these movies, Marvel. Avengers Endgame. He did Doolittle, which did not go over well, but he's going to be in Nolan's Oppenheimer, which is supposed to be amazing. Then it's all like, okay, All-Star Weekend. I don't know what that is. Mexican Stranger. Okay. Pre-production. Then it's all pre-production stuff. So who knows? He actually hasn't done anything really industry-wise or like acting-wise. Excuse me.
Yeah, acting-wise. Because he's directing a lot of stuff now. I remember that now.
Yeah.
I'm seeing him behind him and his wife. Also, they wrote a book, like a children's book or something. I don't even know. So he's doing like whatever. He's just living his life right now. Enjoying his acreage and planting his trees and he go on his Instagram. He's doing all kinds of wild stuff. Not to mention, not only that, it's like Tom Holland just disappeared, man. Like after Uncharted, man, just poof. No, he's done another movie since then. I forgot what it is. I saw like an advertisement for it once in the Blue Moon. But I think it's more on the UK side, that movie, or EU side that movie is. But Tom Holland, yeah, he's just working on his charity, his brother's trust charity and stuff like that. But anyway, interesting. All right, moving on. The original, where are we at? Oh yeah, the original Sandman comics also included the Joker. So Sandman, interesting enough, is on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I heard it was awesome. I haven't really dove into it, but it's interesting because when I saw the preview of Sandman, it was very fantasy based, it seemed. But I always thought Sandman was supposed to be like really, really extremely dark and like digging into your nightmares type thing. Which I know they mentioned here and there. So having a comic with the Sandman that almost include Joker kind of works out. It seems to be a thing.
Yeah, I never read Neil Gaiman's. I mean, he is. I'm sorry, the Sandman is part of the DC universe, but not part of the DC universe. It's one of those weird things, right? But after watching the series, I mean, I didn't read the book, so I'm sure there's going to be some differences between both of them. But just watching the series and thinking about the Joker being in there, I was like, okay, that I can see, I could see where he would be in here somewhere. But I mean, it's dark in a different way. Like, yeah, I think the Sandman, you think of like a Freddy Krueger nightmare type of like what's going on, sci-fi, just death everywhere, creepiness. It's not that type of dark. It's dark in different ways, and it plays with a bunch of different gods and beings, and the way their world is set up. There's this whole scene between Lucifer and him, and the way they the way they battle is very different, and I'm like, holy shit, this is actually awesome. I never would have thought of anything like this because it's not about physical. You gotta watch it. I think you'll really enjoy it.
It's like that is
like that. I with kids and everything, it's been hard for me to find time to really sit down and binge things like I used to, and it really needs to be something that grasps me. And I've been lucky to say that between the Terminal List, the Gray Man, which someone in chat just brought up, now, and then this now, the Sandman, are three things that I have binge watched, and I could not have been more happy with all three of those. The movie, The Gray Man, is absolutely fantastic. The Terminal List just hits you, and this was the Sandman. I didn't know what to expect going in, and my God, was my mind blown coming out of it. It is really, 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 really good.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, who worked on the Sandman? That's
it's Netflix. They did get approved, I believe, for season 2, but as far as, and it's actually the highest rated, I believe it was the highest viewed Netflix shows like ever over the first
series,
week of viewing it. Yeah, too. It'll get canceled though.
Like they canceled Resident Evil. But anyway.
Oh man, that was rough.
Stupid. I actually enjoyed that.
Really? Okay, I gotta watch that.
I enjoy Resident Evil. If you don't look at it like for the video game thing, and you just look at it as like a new Resident Evil, like a new take on Resident Evil, is actually pretty good. It's probably the best Resident Evil that they've had. Honestly, because all of them have been like over cheeky. But yeah, so Sandman and Joker's almost in there. He says, and let's see. Let's see. John D. Dr. Destiny is escaping from Arkham Asylum, and he's meant to encounter the Joker. Gaiman told Rolling Stone that recounting examples of the Sandman's subtle ties to the rest of the DC. He says, and I'd written this whole Joker sequence, and it went in and suddenly got phone calls saying, oh no, the Joker has just disappeared beneath the waters of Gotham River. He's believed dead. And I'm like, well, he's not dead. He's a Joker. He'll be back. And they're like, yeah, but technically right now he's dead. So you have to make it somebody else. I'm like, but it was a Joker. And it was a good, okay, roll up my sleeves, and now it's Scarecrow. So, that's one thing I don't like about what overheads that DC does. Like when you have like a really good, solid story and make people say, oh my gosh, and wonder, and then you bring out another comic that can tie to it. Like those moments mean something. And it goes to show you how DC, not until recently, they just don't give their creative talent enough creative freedom. They just kind of say, nah, we don't want this because it'll probably upset fans. And they just don't know. They're not fans of comics. That's the big thing. It's just like a lot of these big wigs that control the market is just looking at a paycheck and saying, what can we do to make people want to spend more? Or, hey, it's not the Joker, but make it to where super fans may know who it is, but nobody else does. That way, when we come out another book, they'll buy it type thing. It's just kind of wild to me. But whatever.
They dropped another episode. Netflix dropped another Sandman. Well, I know what I'm watching tonight then, if that's the case. Yeah. Oh yeah, Netflix Sandman releases special bonus episode. Well, thank you. I'm watching that tonight. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, and it looks like that they've had a couple of 10 episodes. This one being number 11. It looks like they have had a couple of directors throughout. So it looks like they took that each. Oh, so you know what they did? They're kind of taking an Andor approach. That's what it did. They had a director do like one or two episodes, and it kind of sticks with this story. 2 episodes, it sticks with this story. That's what they did.
Yeah, like Mandalorian was like that too. And those directors, when they had a good response, got their own shows. Deborah Trout, Obi-Wan, and so on and so forth. She's really good. So yeah, cool. Sandman, dope. Getting some airtime, which is nice. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do. I was saying, like, I want to know who did it. I mean, maybe Netflix should really start dabbling, but I mean, Discovery has Warner Brothers now, so we'll see what happens with that.
And just to stick with this, what just recently came out too about the Sandman and wanting and having maybe the Joker in it. The Sandman author Neil Gaiman reveals that Michael Jackson wanted to play Morpheus in the 90s. The main character, Michael Jackson, wanted to play Morpheus. That's That's an interesting one. It's a completely different take on the character.
I mean, it's
very
like,
interesting.
at that point, I bet they were like, it's Michael Jackson. People are going to show up just for him.
Oh, yeah.
As well. You know, I don't know.
Moonwalk on screen. That would be awesome.
Interesting.
It's still coming up.
Very interesting. Let's move on. So Marvel, back to Marvel. So Marvel voices to introduce new Latino or Latina character to the Marvel universe. Marvel voices. So okay, let's just start with this. I mean, you know, this is good. We need more representation across the board. I mean, that's just the whole thing. You know, a lot of people have something to say, both sides of the coin. A lot of people say if the voice actor and the actress is good, why does it matter? Because it does fucking matter. Okay, like just to be real. Funny enough, what I've been seeing lately, and then before we go into this, and I'll let you like take the hinge on this, but
okay,
I had a really good talk with my acting coach, and she let me in on some things. And I talked to a couple of people, like a couple of voice actors and actors, and there's been a lot of people who are, you know, Latina that do these voices. They do all this work, and then they get cut, and then they put a white male or female over it. It's wild to me that this happens, and this happened. This was in the news, so this is no spoilers enough, but this happened in the news recently, with Riot. So, you know, Crizia Bajos, who does Akali, they had released a new skin and put Ashley Burke as the skin. Ashley Birch? Yeah, Ashley Birch as the skin, as the skin's voice for the same character. Now, Ashley is an incredible voice actress. Don't get me wrong; she plays Aloy in Horizon games. She does Wonderland. You know, so she does all those. She has a very good vocal range, but she just doesn't sound like a collie. You know, like Crizia killed that. Like she actually embodied the character, and like Ashley is incredible, and so she just sounded like a Valley girl, you know. And I was just like, what the? So a lot of the fans was like, what the hell is going on? Like, I mean, granted, we were talking about representation, and it's not, you know, Akali is supposed to be. Akali's a made up character. She's a lot of people just associate her with Asian because there's like Asian culture, you know. She's from Idonia, which is like very Asian influenced. So there's that stand, but what I'm going back to is there's a lot of Latino characters that, let's just say American Chavez, if there was an animated series, they would probably have somebody from Colombia or something. You know, she's Mexican in the book, Mexican mixed or whatever, the voice, but they would be like, okay, this sounds a little too Mexican. This is what these directors do. So they bring in like a white male or female because they think it's going to communicate more to the masses, which are cis white men that watch these shows and, you know, read these comics, and it sucks. It really freaking sucks. So there's a flip side of the coin is saying, okay, well, Frank, what if you get your voice in a character, and that character is not a black character? You know, so there's a lot of mix in between. But what the industry needs to do better is look for the source first. You know, if it's a very culturally defined character, for instance, Miles Morales, you know, he's black and Puerto Rican. You can get either side. You know, you can get a black person, or you can get a Puerto Rican person, whatever you want to do with that. Or you can just find the right one. Good, that's in the box. But if they, you know, some cis white man, think about a cis white man, you know, voicing, I don't know, T'Challa. That'd be kind of weird, you know, or whatever. So there's that. So anyway, going on with this Marvel voices thing, I just want to bring that up because a lot of people are just wondering, like, why are they saying this in the news? We don't care about who's voicing what. Yes, we freaking do. And there's a big problem in the voice acting world where people are getting ripped out of their culture because they're trying to, I don't know, abide to the masses. It sucks. But anyway, you can go ahead and take the little lead on this. I just wanted to throw that out there.
I remember, I don't remember what it was from, but I do remember hearing one of the points that you said, well, what happens if it was I think that's what it was, a black guy or someone of color or Asian or something like that taking over role of a white person. And I think that's what happened recently on a maybe that's what it was. Didn't we talk about maybe around 20 episodes or something like that? There being like a podcast or a voiceover work for Batman in a book, and it was a black man talking and being And it's a prominent guy too. I just can't think of his name, and I apologize.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, like as long as it fits and it makes sense, and like the guy or girl, whoever it is, like a good human being, they're not an Ezra Miller. Like, okay, cool, whatever. Like,
Yeah.
I'm fine with it. I as a white male, I don't see it as the way others do, I guess, or like the crazy fans like out there, I guess, getting angry for a black guy taking over white role. But I do absolutely see and understand, especially in the day and age where we live, as if someone took over, if I took over the role of Miles Morales' voice, I could see where the backlash is coming from.
Yeah.
And I guess that just makes me naive on my first take. That's just who I am, I guess. A good person. Like, I don't know. It's weird. Like, I get it. Like, if it, like, I was trying to read a little bit of it, and I can definitely see where the issue comes from. But it was interesting. Before she got it, it was voiced by Laura Bailey, who does a lot of voiceover work as well too. So it's because the character is getting changed.
Right. So
it's weird. Like, I don't know. It actually kind of feels weird talking about it.
Yeah. So Laura Bailey did an incredible job as a colleague, but a lot of those voice actors and voice actresses got changed because, like you said, the character got redesigned. But that makes sense. Like, if a character got completely redesigned and it's a different movie, like, hey, we want to have a voice a little bit more darker, a little bit more mature. And they got Chrissy Abajos to do it, who has a very good range to make a character, because, you know, her vocal range is a little bit different than Laura Bailey. Laura Bailey does really well, like very classy, you know, type thing. She does really good with that. So it makes sense there. But once they established that character and then try to complain, so there was a lot of backlash. The fans were just like, we love Ashley, but this is not Macaulay. Like,
this is not her. Yeah.
Put her on a different character. Like, why are you changing the voice? We already love this, you know. So both back and forth, you know, and no, there's no heat between the voice actresses whatsoever. They're friends, but it's just like, that's the business. It's like they get hired to do something from an agent. They don't know what's going on. They don't know who voices what all, because they're doing so much, especially Critical Role people. They voice everything. So does Christian. This is literally in everything, you know. So it's like, it's that. But to go off what you said, you're not naive. I'm half and half. I do think that if there's a very good voice actor for a role, there's times I played gods that are white, you know, and it's just because of my voice. I can play a god role. But if it's culturally sound, like Black Panther, Miles Morales, American Chavez, I think that's where the problem comes into play, because you want to know the culture. It's like a cis white male writing the story for Miles Morales, just reflecting on how it is to be a minority as a superhero that was already had a mantle as a very popular white male. You know, I
think the closest thing that I can think of with it, and to kind of bring it over, is doing a story and hiring. This came up with Scarlett Johansson recently about a transgender. I think it was, she was going to play a role. Like, why are you hiring her? Why aren't you hiring someone that feels this, that understands this, that's an actress of it, or like or her playing Ghost in the Shell. You know, that should be Asian, like that. Like, now that I'm thinking more, like, when it comes to those things, like you said, culturally, like appropriate and being in there, like I agree. I get that.
Yeah, but if it's like,
I get that,
Batman, who's not really culturally sound, then that's fine. It's whatever. I mean, whoever has a great voice can play him.
Yeah.
You know, so it comes down to that. But anyway, so the latest installment of Marvel Voices series will continue that with the tradition, and recognizing recognizable characters along with new talent making the Marvel comic debuts will all take part with Marvel Voices, featuring 5 new stories. One of those stories will see the introduction of a new Latino character named Chimera. Marvel won't divulge from Chimera is a hero or villain, but she'll tangle with an existing legacy hero named White Tiger, which we know White Tiger very well. So that's gonna be interesting. I just really love the fact that Marvel is making an effort. Did it take them a long time? Hell yeah, but hey, it's whatever the society we live in. But I'm really excited that that's going to happen. It's really nice seeing them really take it by the ball. I mean, let's look at Wakanda Forever film, you know, and just imagine if that guy wasn't who he was, like the villain, So I look at
Yeah.
that like, he's a white guy, So it would have just been horrible backlash. So culturally sound stuff, the stuff that just kind of reflects on culture, and you want to. That representation matters because you're now reaching out to a bigger audience that probably never was interested in comics in the first place, but they see someone like them in the mantle of the role, they feel like, hey, there's hope. And and go from there. People have all kinds of shit to say about the girl that played American Chavez. But I was like, I think she's fine. I mean, she does her thing, whatever. But it goes back and forth. But who is it to say if something's not good for someone if they are a part of that culture? They have just as much right to complain or have their opinion than anybody else.
Absolutely.
They're all opinions. All right. Well, moving on. Oh man, Power Rangers back in the mix, Mac. You take the helm on this, man. I'm a big Power Ranger fan.
Yeah. So for those of you that need a comic book to read, want to go back to a series over the past maybe 4 or 5 years, give or take, the comic book series that have been coming out by, and this actually goes with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles too, but by Power Rangers have been absolutely incredible. And they're currently doing a run right now that has to do with the Death Ranger, and it's coming out through Boom Studios. And it's actually going to be Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 100. This is where we're going to see, I don't want to say a culmination, but a lot of things that are happening in the universe with the Omegas and this Death Ranger happens. So what we have right here is the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 100 preview gives fans their first glimpse at the Death Ranger in all their splendor as the long lost Gold Omega Ranger. Mighty Morphin Power Rangers number 100 serves not only as the culmination of the titular hero's ongoing battle against the Death Ranger, but also as the final issue by esteemed writer Ryan Parrott's run on the series. In this culmination of the Omega Rangers battle against the Death Ranger, who overcame mortality only to be sealed away for their crimes. So if you like the Omegas, if you like Power Rangers, if you like a little bit of dark and grittiness and dirtiness of Power Rangers, this is definitely something to take a look at. They've been on a roll since the Morphing Grid series that came out, I think, 2-ish years ago, 2.5 years ago, something like that. And now that they're working with the Omega Rangers and the Gold Omega Ranger, and now the Death Ranger, if you like Power Rangers or ever liked Power Rangers and you want to get back in, this series is for you. It's going to be and is a wild ride. So check it out for sure.
100th goodness gracious issue preview. It's interesting. I mean, Power Rangers is 20 years old right now. I think it's this month or September. I think it's this month. Yeah, the 20 is either the 18th or the 28th. They turn 20. I think it's either tomorrow or heck, it can't be tomorrow. It had to be the 18th, right? I don't even know. I think it's either 18th or 28th. Those stick out in my mind. Power Rangers is like 20 years old, which is wild. I was there from the start, So
same here, man. Same here.
Yeah, it's still kicking butt, man. People are still very interested in Power Rangers. Power Rangers is probably one of the most cringy TV series around. But the thing is like people love that shit, man. That's what I mean by the right jank, What's up, Darby? Like you have the jank and you have the right jank, and Power Rangers is that right type of jank. The dude that plays Tommy, which is something Frank.
Jason David Frank. Sorry.
So this dude got about to be in his 50s, man, and he's still a Power Ranger, bro. Like imagine your credits just being Power Rangers. It's like for IMDb for the past 20 years.
The things that he's doing with the Power Rangers, though, I feel like what makes it significant is a lot of what we would want out of it. It's a lot darker, it's grittier, it's death. Like it's on the tone of that Power Rangers fan made with Kate Sackhoff and Dawson, James Vanderbeek, right? Like it's the cool stuff that it's not what we get on TV, it's not what we get in movies. It's things that we would like to see happen, like the right field of Power Rangers. I think that's why he stayed into it. Plus, the MMA stuff and whatnot. He's been able to stay relevant and out there with it. But yeah, his credits are all just Tommy,
Yeah,
Green and White Ranger.
he's very. I mean, the dude sleeps and breathes Power Rangers. Like I
Yes.
remember seeing an interview with him, and it wasn't even about Power Rangers. Man bought Power Rangers up, and like he was, it's like I hate his key eye. But anyway,
well, actually, to stick with the Power Rangers too, I mean, we're getting stuff on Netflix now, and I didn't realize this, but I guess this was happening when GCX was going on. But it looks like they got a showrunner, co-producer, for the thing that we're working on with Netflix. I haven't been really up to it, so I don't know if it's a series or if they're working on a movie. But they're bringing in a lady named Jenny Klein, who was an executive producer on The Witcher Series 1 for Netflix, End of the Bleeping World, and then she also did Supernatural, Jessica Jones, Cloak and Dagger. Like, if that's gonna be the feel of Power Rangers, like I'm in. But that's cool if they're getting these type of people to head Power Rangers. Now I'm clearly interested to see where they're going with it, and if they're gonna do, and this goes back to you saying Thundercats 2 weeks ago, and Ghostbusters Afterlife recently, the movie. If they can get that done for those series, Masters of the Universe, Revelations, Ghostbusters Afterlife, if they could do that with Power Rangers, I'm in. Yeah, and same thing. Sure. If they could do something with Thundercats, bro, I would lose my absolute mind.
Oh, me a dirty, gritty freaking Thundercats, man. Like chopping off limbs and shit, bro. Like that would just make my day. But no, I'm gonna point you guys to one of the very Power Ranger inspired dark films called Guyver, man. Like anybody ever seen, Guyver, the anime manga first, then anime, then movie that was brought to the US a long time ago. A lot of people didn't watch back then. That junk was hot. I was a Guyver freaking fanboy, dude. It was cheesy like Power Rangers. He said some dumb one-liners. But man, the way Guyver operated, it was essentially Power Rangers. But like alien suits, and they were just like ripping eyeballs out of people and stuff. It was wild, man. Guyver was So if they went Guyver route with Power Rangers, bro, man, that'd be dope. It'd be dope. But we'll see. But yeah, Thundercats, gritty, dark, man. Count me in.
Man,
just make that a rated R movie. Shit. HBO Max.
HBO Max that. HBO Max is good. I mean, everything that's going on with Warner Brothers and DC, as far as like the stuff that's on HBO Max, like you have so much available at your fingertips. And by the way, if you haven't seen House of Dragons,
dude,
oh my God, please go see that, bro. Oh man, it's back. It's back. Game of Thrones, bro.
I was like, bro, season 1 Game of Thrones is back, baby. We got everything. We got
finally.
We got people trying to sell their daughters off. We got all kinds of shit happening. Well, this is great. Man, dude, that scene with the that whole Knights game scene, bro. I was like, what is happening, bro?
Dude,
it's so, dude. Game of Thrones season 1 of the Targaryens, the House of Dragons or Fire and Ice, whatever you want to call it.
Just whatever. And I've been saying this, man. Morbius, fuck Morbius, dude. Matt Smith. Give me more Matt Smith in these type of roles.
His name is?
That's his brother.
Oh,
give me more Matt Smith,
I got a
bro.
man crush on that guy's acting, bro. His acting is
so good.
Dude, I was just like, damn, he could play a freaking. I just don't want him to go straight down the rabbit hole. But man, I was like, dude, I was just sitting there just smiling, like, damn. I like everybody in that. Like everybody in that first episode, I was like in love with.
Man,
like, everybody was balling.
And they're oh man. They're doing the fan treatment with certain things.
Is it good because they didn't listen to the writer?
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Like
reason why. Like,
oh man,
that shit was good. I was just like, oh, we going in. They literally gave us everything.
Everything you loved about Game of Thrones was packed into 1 hour. I can't imagine the next 7 episodes or whatever it's gonna be.
King's Landing is popping right now. Damn. You know, it made me say, I was like, yo, I'm about to watch all
man.
of Game of Thrones over again. Like, that's how good that shit was. I was just like, man, I can't wait. When is it? When is it air? Is it on Fridays or
So
Sundays?
it's every Sunday night, and I believe
Sunday,
it's
Old school shit.
simulcasted too, if I remember correctly. If not, it's right after. So I believe it's 9 or 10 Eastern on Sundays on HBO, and then either right away at 9 o'clock or as soon as it ends, you're available on digital. So regardless, by 10 o'clock on Sundays, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time,
HBO Max
you'll be able to go in.
HBO Max
That's HBO Max. HBO Max.
Okay. I'm about to say,
But they're doing the I believe
Oh,
you know,
right,
I can take a
online
look. They're doing it. It's like
website.
if you don't, if you don't have a subscription for it on you know, HBO for like regular basic, you know, cable, Optimum, whatever it is, broadcast.
Right.
If you have HBO Max, don't worry, you don't have to wait. We're doing it right at 9 o'clock. Yeah, that's their baby for sure. But man, dude, I am very intrigued to see where they're gonna go with this, because some of the things that they dropped make me wonder what they're gonna do. Hearing now that they're getting sequels to Jon Snow.
You know what I screamed about, my guy?
Say certain things to say,
Bro.
that didn't, but this, like, I am so
I lost my
bro.
shit when they
That whole
preface.
end.
Yeah, when they preface the White Walkers, bro, I was like,
oh my god,
I was like screaming. I was like, dude, they said it.
There needs.
And then like the talk he had with his daughter, bro, I was losing my shit that whole talk. I was just
what did he say? There needs to be a Targaryen on the throne when winter comes. I was like, oh shit!
Yeah, I was just like, oh, if you only knew, Daddy. Like,
if you only knew, Daddy.
Oh man! And then seeing like the original wolf, you know, and all that stuff, I was just like, bro,
oh my god, man!
This is 172 years before the Mad King.
Yes.
This is taking place. Whose daughter is Daenerys. So this is interesting, man. It's so interesting. You know, I kind of wish they would have started with this first and then gave us Game of Thrones, because I would have liked everything more. But you know, having a redemption show is good. Like, this is redeeming Game of Thrones. And I think Song of Fire and Ice. Oh, I think that's us.
Could be me. It could be me. I don't know.
Okay, there we go.
Is it me? Are you getting me? Okay.
Yeah, we're good. Song of Fire and Ice, I think, will be
set up in Optimum, and everything goes haywire.
Maybe season 2. They probably
well,
name it.
So I don't know. Well, they didn't they bring it up in the episode? Am I losing my mind?
Yes. No. He said it. He said the Song of Fire and Ice, because I forgot Yarg or Yag or whatever his name is. Stark.
Yes.
He is the one that prophesies this stuff, because that whole tree shit is coming back. I mean, that was dropped, and they prophesize this, or listen to the Watcher, because they have a Watcher. You know, the Starks have this special ability, and working with the Targaryens, which everyone made Targaryens out to be evil, right? In the original Game of Thrones, but they dropped a really big lore bomb, and I'll just leave it at that. And you'll see that if you watch the first episode. Like I said, we'll talk about it more once the second episode comes out. We'll talk about the first episode in detail. But man, if you haven't sat down and watched it, I don't even give a crap if you don't know anything. Right now is the perfect time to get into Game of Thrones, even if you're not a fan or don't know anything about Game of Thrones, because this is like the history that you're learning. And then you can jump into Game of Thrones, and you might not hate the last season as much as everybody does if you have this setup, because now you can be like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So this is where they dropped the ball, you know? So,
never seen Game of Thrones, and it was really good.
And let me tell you that the whole, man,
this feels the opposite to me. This feels the opposite to me. Like, if you think of Lord of the Rings, and now we're getting the Ring of Power, which I'm also very excited for. But you went into the Lord of the Rings, you watched the trilogy, and then you go back to the Hobbit. I didn't get that feeling again. Like, it was good, the Hobbit, but it wasn't it. Like, sitting down and watching this is making me go, like we just said, like, Game of Thrones is back. Like, it's a totally different feel to Game of Thrones again. And maybe because we didn't end the main series where we wanted to, compared to Lord of the Rings, maybe that's what it is. But this has a different feel, and the acting, every single who was the guy, even though he had like 3 lines, who was the guy that faced Matt Smith in the jousting duel and everything?
Oh,
Like
the knight.
that, yeah, even that character, like them trying to figure out like who he was, where he came from, and when he had those couple of lines, it was like, oh, this is even
but
that
you
is
know,
like
he's still
this is
coming.
sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like this is good stuff. Like this is nice.
Man, there was so much, bro. There was so much lesbian energy in that Game of Thrones was great. I mean, like the first scene, the way that girl looked at her when she walked in that carriage, she was like, I was like, oh, we in it, baby. Like I was like sitting up, like here we go. Like, you know, it was great, man. It's just great to see, like, yeah.
Not Littlefinger.
Oh,
Who's the guy that gets the pin? Who's the right hand of the king? What is his title?
in this series?
In this,
the hand?
no, well, just in general, the hand of the king.
Hand of the king?
Yeah, is that what it's called?
Yeah, you're the hand of the king. Yeah, you're the
Hand of the king.
Yeah.
When he was telling his daughter to go into his chambers, I was like, bro, they're going there already?
I was like, well, we're here. Like, sell out the daughter, incest is there. Like, you know, the uncle is in love with the, you know, we know all this is happening right now. So I was just like, bro, here we go. Let's go ahead deep in. It was a lot in the episode, man. It was a lot, dude. Even down to the little meticulous, like the fact that dude, did you catch when he scratched himself on the throne? I mean, I'm just saying,
yes,
there's so much little shit in there. I was just like, bro, they went ham. I was like, man, we ain't even to episode 2, and I'm already feeling like we watched 2 episodes. There's a lot.
I went through a whole series in an hour.
Girl, what's her name, man? That girl that plays
the actress
Riviana. What's her name? Riviana. Yeah, I don't know her name. Let's see. Game of Thrones.
They all killed it.
That girl, man.
Millie Alcock is.
How old is she?
I know she looks like she's like 19
like 18,
in the
19.
show or something, but I don't know how old she is in the. Did they say how old she was in the show?
She's 16. She's of age because they're already talking about she needs to start getting ready to have.
Oh, yep.
You know, to bring an heir and all this crap already. It's kind of wild.
Oh wow, I'm looking at. I mean, I brought on House of Dragons and like actors and actresses, and I'm looking at some of the actresses that are going to show up in here. Like, I'm very intrigued. Like, there's Maggie Q is going to be in this. Maggie Q is amazing actress.
Oh, you know what's interesting to me is the fact that they're going to do a time skip.
Yes, that's
interesting. Like you know,
when is that going to happen?
Apparently soon. I mean, you know, it's wild to me because I'm like, damn, everybody in Game of Thrones grew up in Game of Thrones, like everybody. So what is this? You know, like why are they time jumping? Man, they must have a lot to dig out in this. So they're probably gonna jump 10 years, I would say. Probably like 10 to 12 years. They're probably gonna do a jump because main character. She grows up pretty fast, you know.
I wonder if they're going to do a straight time jump or they're going to go back and forth, or they're going to do the time jump and then do back.
Oh yeah, probably. I don't think that young lady is not going to be a part of the thing. What is this girl's name?
Millie Ackett. I mean, I literally just had it up. The blonde, the new the successor. Yeah, the heir. Excuse me. Yeah, her name is. I just had it. IMD Millie Alcock, Millie Alcock, Millyyalcock, Australian actress.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she absolutely destroyed it. Her on-screen presence was.
Yeah, she's 22. God damn, they make her look like she's 16.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she's 22. I can see her pictures now. Lord, they did a damn good job making her look young, bro. Good Lord, what the heck? Anyway, not like she looks old, but I'm just saying she looks her age in her regular pictures, but in the show, she's man. Let me tell you,
she doesn't look that.
The designers, the outfits, the scenes, the colors, everything is just damn. That show's good. I get so excited because it's not. You know, it's funny. We're on a comic show, and I'm saying I get so excited because it's not Marvel. Because you know, it's not Marvel doing this. You know, it's Game of Thrones, something that people pooped on. And then now everyone's just like, oh my God, set me up. You know, I need to have all kinds of things to calm me down while I watch this show. But anyway, yeah, so there's that. And it's great. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. Like 100% go watch it. It's definitely something I am fanboying over. I'm like literally in love with everybody on that show. Everyone just murders. It's just, and especially
literally and figuratively.
Yeah. Millie is damn. Like these young. I don't know, man. Game of Thrones just makes people. I feel like they just make great actors and actresses just come to life that you've never heard of. But that's just the strength of British and Australia and all these other countries just doing it up. I mean, America, we got to catch up, baby, because most of our big time actors are from there. Like,
Yeah.
like, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's great. It's great. It's definitely mature. So be careful with that if you're out there. But I mean, shit. If I had a child that's like, I don't know, at least 16, I'd say, hey, just watch it. Might as well, It's just, I don't know. But
if you have HBO Max, you're watching it. That's simple as that. It's just you're gonna end up watching it. It's
so
too good. It's too good.
It makes me want to read the books good, and I did not get that feeling from Game of Thrones. And which I thought was very, very good. Everybody was good. But anyway, I think that's a wrap, man. I mean, I don't really have anything else to talk about. Upcoming stuff. If you want some wacky news before we go, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is in Knockout City. They're coming to Knockout City, man. So and they got all kinds of stuff. They got villains and heroes. So interesting. I thought Knockout City was knocked out, but apparently not. Things to look forward to during the week. I mean, for me, I'm playing a lot of multiverses. It's killing my stream. It's no secret. It's fucking murdering it. But I love the game, and I'm going to compete. And I think I'm damn good at the game. And funny enough, I'm playing Arya Stark. Until at least until Stripe comes out. But yeah, I think Mario is damn good. And hell, you might see me at a tournament or two. Enjoying that. Purple versus good. Other than that, we're just trying to figure out what the hell to do. It's you have these stale stink periods at least once or twice a year, and this year is in about 3 times for me. So we're trying to find that horizon there. Anyway, you can find me at twitch.tv/Techniq or twitter.com/TechniqueTV. And thank you again, everyone. We're not signing off because Matt has to do his sign off, but I just want to thank everybody for enjoying our YouTube shorts.
Yes.
Pretty explosive. All right. You're going to see more stuff coming from us soon. Right now, I am in an extremely busy time. So once that calms down, we'll be doing more shorts, more reaction videos, stuff that you can only find on YouTube. So make sure you check that out there. Yeah, Matt.
Yeah, I mean, on a little piece of note on my end. So we were just talking about House of Dragons. I wanted to double check and see when it was coming out. But so Friday of next week, so a week from yesterday. Yeah. Anyway, the 2nd is when we're gonna get Rings of Power. So sticking on the fantasies, we'll have Sunday. We'll have the Game of Thrones episode 2 or House of Dragons episode 2, excuse me. On Thursday, we'll have She-Hulk episode 3, and then Friday we'll have Rings of Power, and then you run it back. We got 3 fun things now. If you're a fan of nerddom or geek culture or whatever you want to call it, we're getting into that zone where we're almost every day of the week. We're gonna be having something to watch if you really wanted to, man.
I miss it.
So not only do we have that, but yeah, as far as I go, my name's Matt, aka NighthawkPlayz, but with the Z, literally everywhere. This week we're gonna be playing some more Fortnite. We're gonna be playing some more Rumbleverse. So if you want to take a break, Frank, and you want to be tight wearing, power slamming people,
hit me up, man. I mean, hit me up. I know, because if I'm streaming, I don't see it.
I know, man. I'll text you or something. I know, man.
Later, I'm like,
son of a bitch. Yeah. But outside of that, I know you've seen my tweets on Wednesday and Friday. I open up Pokemon cards on YouTube, and on it's been so much fun. I actually got a brand new set here. 2 weeks early, so I'm gonna be popping this open, Lost Origin, on Wednesday.
Nice.
On Pokehawk. But yeah, outside of that, just living the dream, having some fun.
Armor leg, man,
yeah, I don't want to. Let's just say hide the receipts for my wife right now. It's not where I need it to be yet, but I posted this yesterday. I've been 5 years doing content creation, and this is the steadiest growth, happiest I've been, and not even just steadiest growth. It's just been just steady. I haven't had 40 one day and then 2 the next day. It's just been it's been nice. And I don't know if it's YouTube. Good. I don't know if it's people that have known me in streaming world since 5 years. But Matt, this is the happiest I've ever seen you. So I don't know what it is, but I'll
fucking
and,
dope.
and it's opening up shiny cardboard. So
Hey man, whatever floats your boat, whatever you can build that community off of, just make sure it's what you know what you want to do in the near future as
Yeah.
well, because you know how communities are. As soon as you do something else, they're like, yeah, you know. So
yeah.
I'm doing it. I'm dealing with that right now. But no, man, I'm proud of you, dude. Like I said, you have it in you, man. You have all the stuff. It's just like finding that thing. God, I sound like people talking to me. Finding that thing that you know you want to go ahead with, and yeah, check them out, man. You guys listening, go check them out on YouTube, bro. Like, I mean, opening
Man.
those cards are exciting. I'm sitting there like, oh boy, what if they don't get one that's mint? You know, they spent all this money on a piece of crap. But yeah,
You never would have thought that you'd have this many conversations about like opening a pack of anything or just playing anything and then getting that chaser, and you get excited, I get excited, and since I'm opening up cards for someone else, the community gets excited, they get excited. It's this whole big crazy thing, and I get it. It's weird and different to talk about, but it is. If you've never been in a Pokemon stream or just a card opening stream and you want to get like a vibe of it or just something in general, check it out. If you want to check me out, great. If not, just there's so many other amazing creators out there doing abundance of different card openings. But like I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays at Pokehawk TV on YouTube. If you want to check me out, check me out. I'd appreciate it. But it's a different but fun and wild ride. I'll say that much.
oh bro, that's awesome.
It's better than watching slots.
Mhm.
But yeah, outside of that, man, it's gonna be a fun week. I know you're gonna have some fun, whooping people as Arya Stark and whatnot. And yeah, we'll have some fun. We won't be here next week,
right?
Since we're in the new. So this is a PSA for everybody. As you know, we're in the new chapter of phase 2. We won't be live next week here, but the following week. So the next time you'll see us live, either on YouTube or on here on Twitch as well, will be the 10th. So we'll have a lot of stuff to discuss at that point at 3-ish p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you know, you have our Twitter, you have our TikTok, all the comics spelled with an X, and yeah, we'll be there.
Yep. Yeah, it gives you some time to do your homework, man. Your homework is to go watch Game of Thrones, go watch She-Hulk. Just pick your favorite one and watch it, and we'll discuss it. I'll get She-Hulk done definitely by the time we meet again. But yeah, I'm telling you, Game of Thrones is my new. That's just plug it in me, you know. So but anyway, other than that, guys, thank you so very much for joining us for episode 50 of the Comics Show. And those that are podcast listeners and those that don't see us live, thank you very, very much for supporting the content. We hope that you enjoy the discussions. Have these discussions with your friends and family, and then let us know. Let us know what you think. Feel free to hit us up on the Twitter as at the Comics Show. Leave comments on the videos and stuff like that. If you want to come in and have some discussion, feel free. We're always open to questions and advice and stuff of that nature. So thank you very much. Guest wise, we'll be bringing in some guests sooner or later. It may not be industry professionals. We might bring in some very, very, very hardcore comic book and just get an outside look. So I just got to set those meetings up and we'll get them in there. But right now, have a great day. And thank you for being a part of the mix. And we'll see you next time on Comics. Take it easy.
Hi, everyone. Peace.